Some of you asked me about my process behind creating logos, and I'm going to show you that today by using a fake company and show you basically an hour-long logo design process. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. So let's say we're working for a company called Electromass, and they are an electricity meter reading company or someone who provides electricity to you at your home. They're from the UK, but they have been doing this for like a few years now, but they want to have a heritage feel to their logo. So they've been in business for quite a while. They don't want to have too much of a vintage feel, but they want it to be like sort of standing out. So the first thing that I do is that I'm going to write down a bunch of stuff in a little notepad here. You can use any notepad that you want, but Fields Notes are a great little thing to have, but you can use whatever you want. So I'm just going to go ahead, open up a new page here. I think this is a new one. It is a new one. So I'm going to go here and just start writing some stuff down. So it's an electricity meter company. I'd say a lot of blue should be used because blue is a nice sort of corporate color, or green or blue-green, if we're going to use green as well. Bold, put that as a question mark. So what you'll see is in a lot of companies, they have like a mark, like an icon, and then they have like some nice type below it, and then everything else falls within that branding. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create sort of like a squared off mark kind of thing like this. So now I'm just going to go ahead and sketch some ideas down. So get your little dots grid sketchbook out now and start drawing out some ideas. So I know I want it to be sort of blocky, and this is called Electromass. So I'm going to say Electromass at the top, and this is just going to be an idea. So I'm going to draw a standard E formation like this, and we're just going to go, you can see how rough I'm treating this. It is very rough. We've got an E there. What we can do is you can make another E right here, but this time have it cut off at these ends. And we're just playing around with the words really, just around here, seeing what we get out of it, because there's so many different plays on the letter. And because this is going to be an icon, this is a pretty easy form of design that we've got going here. But the idea is just to get the ideas out. When you're drawing and stuff, you don't want to be precision or anything. You just want to get it out as fast as possible to get these different flows out, and you'll surprise yourself. We'll just go here and we can create like a lowercase e if we wanted to, like so. We'll create like a brush sort of type that might not work, but it's good to explore different options in this. And because it's electricity, you sort of have like, you know, this sort of zigzag for lightning. We could even have a little play on that. So just write everything down, get all these things down on here. The main thing to keep in mind is when doing this, that you're actually just getting the best ideas out. You don't have to worry about it, don't feel pressured. Same time we can have like an angled E if we wanted to. We kind of like angled slopes here. You can see how rough I'm being with this, and that is the idea. So we can have these little things, and then you can fill them in if you want to see the weight and the balance of them and stuff like that. Filling them in can give you a different perception of the type in itself. So just fill them in lightly like so. So when I've done that, I've cleared all my ideas out of my head. I'll look at some inspiration, at some icons, and there's a great book, and I'll link it in the description for you to get. It's called Logo Modernisms. There are tons and tons of things inside of here for like inspiration. So we're just gonna like literally surf this book, and we can find some great inspiration. Like right here, we've got a bunch of E's. What a place to start on, eh? So we've got a bunch of E's on here, and you can see how creative these are. Now, some of these were designed in 1920s, but you can tell that these all work today, and that's the idea of logo design, that everything that worked before should work now most of the time. So we've got C's, and this is going in alphabetical order. So when you're looking at stuff like this, you don't want to steal anything on here. You want to actually be going ahead and taking inspiration from it, seeing where the form leads. Now, I didn't know before that we had this sort of like lowercase sans serif E, and we can do plays on that. So now that I've got that out of the way, I can just go ahead and start making little plays on this. This little sans serif E, and this is why the dot grid sketchbook is so important. So here's a sans serif E. It's a lowercase sans serif E, and it's not going to be very good, but the idea is just to get them out. I'm going to go ahead and come up with a few more ideas, and then we'll go ahead and go into Illustrator. So the next stage of logo design is bringing it into your computer. You can use any computer, but I'm using Illustrator here, Adobe Illustrator. And we're going to scan those ideas in. And once you've created a few of those ideas, let's say like 10 to 15, depending on how long you're spending on this logo, I would suggest bringing out as many ideas as possible, because just letting your pen roam freely is going to be the real mastery behind this. It's just gaining those shapes that you never thought you could gain. So basically, I'm just going to go through this and work out which one I like best. And I like to do this on the computer just to see what it looks like in its flat version. And I've got a couple of ideas that I like. I like this one here, which is an E that's in the shape of a pyramid, it's kind of like electromass. I also like this one here because when you flip this around, it kind of looks like an M, but it also looks like a spark plug. But the problem is it looks like a wrench. And I also like this one. This is a very minimalistic idea here. I also like this spark plug one here, or like this American style plug, which I might go for. We might create a few variations for the client, but we're going to be creating more variations of the same logo within this process. And the way that I work is by basically creating different shapes and seeing how we go. So the first thing, I'm going to start off with probably this simple logo here. And we're going to come up with like 3 different variations of this logo here, quite simply. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create some mastery down here like so. Just quickly get these ideas into effect. Really, I just want to make sure that these look okay. And we'll see how this looks when it's further down. We'll scooge these in. And like so. So that's kind of like what I wanted to go for there, electromass. So what we could do here is create another duplicate of that and just go straight in with another variation of this. We could go for that. It kind of looks like an F though, but we'll deal with that later. And you can see here all I'm doing is playing around with these different shapes, seeing how they run with each other, seeing what you can do with them. Just keep creating different ones that you like. I mean, that one looks much better than this one. So what I'm going to do is just fling this back here and create a new different one. And I'm just pressing Alt Command or Alt Drag just because then you can create like a new copy. But the idea is that you can just create all these different shapes, getting them out of your mind and seeing where you want to go with them. I'm also going to go ahead and like create a duplicate of this one. See how I'm going to do this. That's going to create a normal E right there. But what happens if I do this? That kind of looks like a weird E going on right there. I'm not too sure about all them. What if I do this? And if I expand this up like so, and create like a little diagonal flow going on here. I'm just being quite rough here. I'm not actually getting the finalized logo down. I just want to create something that looks half decent. Something that I can show to the client, see whether they like it or not. See what happens with that. You see you've got little shapes going on there. So you've got a few variations of that single shape right there. So the next version of this I'm going to do is the one down here on this part here. You can see it. It's like a circle with like these E formations inside it. And you can see that they're sort of being circled off. So basically the idea of logo design is to keep things very simple. So this might even get simpler as we go along. So I'm going to create like an O here or like a circle. Just holding shift and creating that. Then the next thing I'm going to do is sort of like divide these off. So this could be done probably better in a grid system. So we can get grids up here and make sure that this is like on a grid. We can make sure of that by going to outline mode, and this is the way you do it. You know, logo design is simple. Keep it simple all the time. Then the next thing we're going to do is just making sure it snaps to get grids. Just so it's a lot easier when I'm creating these different shapes. There you go, it's going to snap to those grid points right there. Like so, I'm going to copy this as well, just in case I get rid of it. Because I'm going to just put it in white and see what we got going on here. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I've got like another idea as well that I could like implement, I'm sure. We've got this, which is kind of like an E, but it looks a bit strange. We're not looking for perfect ideas here. We're just looking for an idea of where we can go with the shapes in themselves. But I'm not going to get rid of these ideas. I'm just going to like keep them. If the client asks if I've been doing any work on their logo because it's taken a while, then I've got something to show them in the end. And what we're going to do is create a couple more of these. Create this one as black again. Until I'm happy with it. It's just a very sleek looking design that we're wanting here. So that's another design we've got going on there. I mean, that one's okay. It's not my favorite and it's not the best, but you can see where we're going. We can do it into the different colors that we may use for electricity and stuff like that, which could be, you know, blue, if we wanted blue in there. Let's get red. Oh, we'll just change this color to this green as well, like right here. So the next one we're going to do is a pretty simple one, which is the one that I think we'll use, which is an E formation. So we're going to just do it like this. We've got snap to grid on again, so we can just go ahead and snap this into place where we need it to be. And I'm just eyeballing. I'm not really too fussed at the moment exactly where these should be. So there's an E. It's a very basic sans serif E, that, but the difference with this is that these are going to sort of like come into the center a tiny bit. So we're going to move these into the center a tiny bit, whether it's just one square or whatever. I'm just going to sort these corners out as well so that it fixes itself in here. And this is me manipulating type, quite literally just manipulating the type. And with this, we're going to create this little square arc on the right, which is basically just filling it again. So we can like go ahead and like bring this out ever so slightly like so and get them to meet actually. You see, sketching takes time, but the actual real side of it is, you know, getting it in on this computer here and making other ideas happen from this. Now, if you know me, I'm more of a vintage style designer, but I love grids and I love big fat logo designs, and I love the vintage aspect of it. I've got this book called Logo Modernism, which is all about the vintage style of modern logos, which is logos that are created in the 1920s to the 1970s or 80s. And there's a bunch of different shapes in there. And this is what really challenged me. So guys, I want to see what your logo designs are like. It's going to be hilarious to see you guys just absolutely going for it in a good way. And just to note, this isn't a real logo design that I'm working on right here for a client. You know, this is just me playing around with a fake company. And, you know, when I'm actually doing it, I'm spending a bit more time creating the logo. Getting the idea isn't the hardest part. I normally know the idea roughly within the first day. And it's all about telling the client why they should have this idea. And because us as designers know it's the best, so we treat it like so. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to our sponsor over at Squarespace. If you don't know, I use Squarespace on my website because they are awesome. You don't have to be a web design wizard to actually understand how to use Squarespace. Basically, you can choose from a bunch of templates and you have your website there. It is customizable. You can have a shop on there and sell things. People, like clients, can contact you and it works really well. It's so beautiful and elegant to use and for the customer too. If you want 10% off Squarespace, click the link down in the description below and let me know what you think of the Squarespace platform. Tweet at me, get me on Instagram and let me know about your website and your Squarespace platform. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video and I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon.